Welcome to everyone. This week video will cover the SP500 for the week of January 29, 2024. If you like this video, don't forget to click on the like button, subscribe and click on the bell to make sure you don't miss any future videos. Before we start, make sure you read carefully the disclaimer. The 20-week cycle. In the last update, I mentioned the possibility of, during this 80-day cycle peak formation, the SP500 will reach his last upside target at 4,852. Then will start to decline and cross below his cycle line, providing a potential downside target, forming the low of this 80-day cycle around March 14th. On Monday 22, the SP500 made a new all-time high at 4,868, meeting and exceeding his 4,852 target. This target has been triggered on November 17, 2023. The 20-week cycle pointing down. This 20-week cycle low is still expected around the end of February. At that time the cycle line, which should be used as support, will be at 4,577. There is a high probability the SP500 downside target for this 20-week cycle will be around that price. But like mentioned in my last SP500 update, since the market is bullish, there is a possibility the SP500 won't meet his cycle line. How far from the cycle line the low will form will give us an indication of how bullish is the market. We will have confirmation of the 20-week cycle peak when the SP500 will cross below the 80-day cycle uptrend line. The success rate is 100%. The 80-day cycle. The SP500 is on his way to form the second 80-day cycle peak. This peak should occur around the first week of February, around the 8th. But technically this peak may occur before the February 8th. The low for this second 80-day cycle is still expected on March 14th. The purple line is the 80-day cycle uptrend line, which will be used to identify the 20 weeks peak formation. For now, the 80 days uptrend line hold the market. The January 5th low at 4,682 is the last 80-day cycle low. This low was expected on January 4th. The low occurred one day later. This 80 days should be less bullish than the first one. He even can be neutral to bearish. The success rate is 100%. The 40 days cycle. On January 19th, the SP500 crossed above his cycle line at 4,777. Providing a potential upside target at 4,839, or $62, or 3% of potential profits. On January 22nd, the SP500 meet his target. In my last weekly update on the SP500, I was expected the peak for this cycle to form on January 22nd, the red dashed line. Friday 26, the SP500 made a new all-time high at 4,906. If this high is the 40-day cycle peak, this peak occurred 4 days later. The low is scheduled for February 8th, the yellow zone on the chart. Technically, during the next 40 days low formation, the market should cross below his cycle line, providing a downside target. Here are the cycle lines and their potential targets if the SP500 crosses cycle lines this week. The success rate is 62%. The 20 days cycle. The last 20 days low was on January 17th at 4,714. This low occurred 5 days early than expected, which usually bullish when the cycles run shorter than expected. Like expected in my previous update, the SP500 found support on his cycle line. The last signal with the cycle line was on January 12th. With a crossing at 4,769 with an upside potential target of 4,855. Or $86 or 82% of potential profit. On January 22nd, the SP500 meet his target with a high at 4,868. A profit of almost $100 or a little bit more than 2% profits in 10 days. The next 20-day cycle low is expected on February 3rd or 4th. But since the cycles run shorter, then is a possibility this 20 days cycle low occur before. During the next low formation, the SP500 should cross below his cycle line, providing a potential downside target. Here the cycle line and their potential target in case the market cross below his cycle line this week. The success rate is 90%. The 10 days cycle. On January 19th, the SP500 crossed above his cycle line at 4,796 for a potential target at 48.77, or $81, or 169%. With a 4,903 high, on January 24th, the SP500 met his target, giving $107, or 2.23% profits. The next 10 days cycle is expected on February 1st or 2nd. Here the cycle line and their potential target if the SP500 crossed below them this week. The success rate for the 10 days cycle is 100%. In conclusion, the SP500 is on his way to form the 20-week cycle peak. The end of February to mid-March is the time period where we can expect the 20-week cycle low will form. After this low formed, the market should resume his up move and make a new all-time highs on his way to form the next 40-week cycle peak, which we can expect will occur around March or April. But it's still too early to give more precise date for the 40-week cycle peak. The low should occur around mid-June 2024. In this update, I mentioned few times the success rate. It is an important piece of information to know the accuracy of the buy and sell signals given by the cycle lines. If you need more information about the success rate, on the first update video of this year, I published the success rate table for the year 2023. I recommend to watch this video to have more details on the success rate. This is the end of this week's video. Thank you for following me. Next week, I will publish another market update.